Now that we've seen what the homework looks like, it's time to look at what the mini tests are going to look like. They're going to actually look very similar to the homework in a lot of respects, but they're not the same. So I click on mini tests right here, and you can see, by the way, if I click on homework, there's all the homework. If I click on quizzes and tests, there are all the tests. They don't really need two little icons up here on the left menu, but it's easier for students. Okay, so there are some restrictions on mini tests that are not there for homework. So we have our due dates over here on the left, but over here on the right, you can see that each one of these has a 2-hour time limit. That's it. That's all you get is 2 hours. We're trying to train you. I'm trying to train you to be ready to take your final exam and your midterm in the 3-hour time frame. So if that's the case, if that's what you've got is a few hours, you need to prep yourself. You need to practice. You need to get your note sheets organized and everything ready before you go to take your mini test. You also have 10 attempts to take it. So you can take it one time, flunk it, and then take it again, right? Do really well, etc. Now let me show you a couple other things. Over here you can see a little flag, and if I let my mouse sit on it, it means that there are restrictions that I have not met. There are prerequisites to every test, namely that you have to get 70% or higher on every homework that's on that test in order to take the test. So you can see here, I haven't done any of the Chapter 3 homework. That's why it's giving me all of them. It's saying you don't have 70% on 3.3, 3.4, you don't have 70% on 3.5, and so on. If I let my mouse hover over Chapter 2, I can see that the only restriction I still have to cover is the 2.4. It doesn't mean that there aren't other restrictions. It's that I've already matched those other restrictions. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to actually change my gradebook so that it appears that I have done Chapter 2, which I currently have not. So I'm going to go fix that 1 second, and then I'm going to show you how it happens here. Okay, I upgraded my 2.4 homework grade to 8 out of 9 from 6 out of 9, which gives me an 89%. So if I go back to mini tests, and of course you don't have the ability to do that because you don't have access to the gradebook like I do. But here you can see the little flag went away now. So the little flag went away, I'm ready to take this test, right? So if I click on it, make it bigger, you can see I have 120 minutes left to complete this assignment. It is due here. There are this many questions. There's 10 questions. I can view a tutorial on how to enter answers before I start if I'm feeling nervous about it. And I can say, okay, I'm ready to start. And there we go. And it looks a lot like homework, except it's not quite homework, right? So it doesn't have all the bells and whistles that homework has. For starters, it doesn't have that big panel of help, right? Because a test is supposed to be where you show that you can do things without all those help features. So you try, you do problems, etc., and then you submit the test when it's over. Oh, before I go, you can see I'm on question 1. It's worth 1 point. Then there are 10 points total in the test. I can see I have 1 hour and 59 minutes remaining, and I'm on 0. I have 0 of 10 so far. So I click 2. There we go. Right, this is my 0 attempt. In other words, when I'm done with this, it'll say 1 of 10 is done. So it's letting you know how many attempts you've done right here. And if you like, you can make this bigger so it fills up more of the screen, or smaller, either way. Right? And that's it. At the end of 10, I'm done. These arrows aren't lighting up white. So I'm done. So I'm going to click submit. Say, yep, I'm going to submit it. Hey, look, I got 0 points. Congratulations. I spent 1 minute and 3 seconds on it. That's probably not good. All right, so I can click review and I can go over the test now and figure out what I could have done right, what I could have done wrong. Sometimes you'll run into questions that don't make a lot of sense. When that happens, if you say, hey, that's not true, that's false, forward it to me with Ask My Instructor, and I will look at it for you. Okay? So if ever you're stuck or you think, hey, I deserve points and I didn't get them, send it to me. I'll look at it. If you deserve points, I will give you the points. Although I will be honest that a lot of times students don't deserve the points and they think they did, but you know, it happens. It does happen. Every semester I have got a couple students that have valid reasons for why they chose the other answer, and sometimes I will give them points, sometimes I will not. It just depends on the situation. But send it to me with Ask My Instructor. You can also print it off and study from there, because what's happening is that every test is going to be different. So now I've attempted 1 of 10. So if I go do it again, I'm ready to start and make it bigger. And there we go. And now I can see I've got no questions. Oh, that's what this is. This isn't an attempts. This is how many questions you've done so far. So let me click on something here. Actually, yeah, so I selected an answer, right? See, I just pick one and I'm gonna go next. And now I've done 1 of 10 so far. And then I pick an answer. I'm picking at random, so don't follow me, whatever I'm doing, I'm just picking, right? So picking A, there we go, next, and so on. And you can see, oh, I've done 3 so far, 3 of them. And if you think, oh, I think number 2 was different, so you can go back and change number 2, right? And then click on 4, click on 5, and so on. And when you're all done, you click submit. Yep. And hey, I still scored 0. And you can see that there's a difference between scoring 0, which is what I did, and not even attempting, which gets the X in parentheses. But either way, I did pretty horribly. And let me click on go to results. And you can see now I've tried to take that test twice right there. I can see the day that I worked on them. I can see the time that I spent on it. I can see my scores. Right? And I can review them at any point. So if I shut down, next time I come back, I can review it and see, oh, what did I say for this question? What did I say for this question? And so on. Okay. I'm trying to think. All right, so that's about it for mini tests. But you're starting to see just in here, this is the results page, right, for your mini tests. So I'm clicking mini tests just real quick. So if you click on MiniTests, you see these in here and it's got it all written out like that. If you want to see your score, you click see score. But another way to see it is the gradebook, which is kind of what I was looking at just a second ago. You just didn't realize it. So I have all my assignments right here in the gradebook. And you can see, hey, I flunked that and I flunked that. And there's me putting in the fake grades for chapter 2, right? Little stars next to them means that the instructor has gone in. So if you send me something that you think is a mistake and I agree with you, I'll go in and boost your grade and you'll see a little star next to it. And you can review and all that stuff. Okay. And then you click show overall score and you can see so far I've done some homework and I've done some tests. I've done a test, but I got 0 out of it. So that's not very good, but I got 0 on it. And then the homework right there, you can see I have 7 points so far. I've tried 7 assignments and I got 4.1 points correct. Woot. Right? And then so far, these other ones are not available. Of course, as the instructor goes in, as I go in and put your grades in, these will start popping up and be more available. Figuring out your overall grade will be a combination of looking at this column that my mouse is circling right here. The computer figures out kind of an overall grade, but even so far, there's no way I really have 17%. I've basically done nothing. So it's saying, hey, of what you've done so far, you've got 17%. Okay, but that's not really 17% overall in the course, so be careful. When we get a little bit further along in the course, say like after the midterm or closer to the final, I'll make a video for you to show you how to calculate your grade from this column of stuff over here. But for right now, we won't worry about it. But this is up here will be a pretty good guess of what your grade is, but the real grade, it gets calculated from down here. All right. Oh, and one other thing, you can tell the total time you've spent on your tests and your homework down here. So far I have spent 10 minutes, which is probably not very good at all. Well, last but not least, before I leave this video, I want to click on study plan just so you can see it. I don't really use it very much. Some instructors really use it a lot. I just don't. But I like leaving it up because it allows you extra practice. So let's say you've already done your tests for chapter 2. Chapter 2 is done. It was due last week. So it's over. You can't get any more points in chapter 2, but you still need to figure out something from, say, 2.1. What you can do is you can go to the study plan and do any of these problems you like. They're not going to count for anything. They're not going to be worth any points to you homework-wise, but you can still figure stuff out about them. Okay? And that might be a good thing, right? If you didn't do well in the chapter 2 test, this is where you would go to study more chapter 2, right? And say, okay. And then you can pick a different section. Or let's say you know it's just pie charts you don't get. You can click on just pie charts and click on one of these problems. So the study plan's there to give you extra practice. That's the way we use it in this course. We don't really use it for much of anything else. All right, so there's that. We've covered mini tests, the gradebook. Gradebook, very useful, but complicated. We'll talk more about that in the video later on in the semester. and the study plan, which is where you can go get extra practice problems. Now in the next video, I'm going to discuss the projects, both the computer project and the paper and pencil projects, I believe. So I'll see you back here then.